Hello and welcome to the March edition of the TRBusiness Ease-In and the Jewellery and Watches Report. We are joined by Robertaccio, Senior Vice President, Gluck Corporation. Hi Rob, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me today, Andrew.
It's my pleasure, and it's really great to see you, and I really look forward to being able to meet in person sometime soon.
So do I.
So to kick things off, I just wanted to ask, how did things progress as far as Anne Klein and Torjon were concerned last year in travel retail before and after the pandemic kicked in? And how are things started this year as well after that?
Sure. Business started out very, very well. We had very big plans for expansion with our existing operators and for new operators that we were moving into for 2020. Obviously, the pandemic threw a wrench in those plans, as it did for a lot of people. But we've remained positive as far as where things are coming when we come out of all this. On the Anne Klein side, we've made great progress meeting new people, especially thanks to the efforts of TR Marketplace. It gave us an opportunity to talk to operators that we don't normally get to speak to at trade shows, just because they're so busy, and had very, very positive conversations. We're really looking forward to what 2021 will be when things return. On the Torgon side, things were a little bit more challenging, only because we decided to introduce the brand to the duty-free and travel retail world mid-pandemic, which seemed like an odd time, but we also felt it was a very good time for people to kind of hear what we had to say when things were somewhat quiet. So we've had some great conversations. It's still a work in progress, but we do have some exciting news that we did get a placement on Costa Cruises, and we do have goods on one ship currently, just waiting to have guests aboard, and hope to get some sales soon when things return to normalcy.
Thank you very much for the kind words about TR Marketplace. So we've had excellent feedback from it. It was a project we all enjoyed working on, and I'm so glad to hear that you had some productive conversations. And also, I'm sure your sentiment is shared with everybody across the cruise retail industry. We've had some positive news lately, I think, regarding MSC. So long may it continue. Carrying on, how would you say your travel retail and duty-free business was affected by the pandemic, and maybe how have some of your plans been impacted?
Well, plans have been totally impacted. Plans you can throw kind of right out the window and start all over again based on what happened. I think this has extended longer than any of us had anticipated at this point. But with that comes a lot of good things. So from a plan standpoint, we're keeping our expectations realistic, and on the financial side of it, being very fluid with how we expect orders and goods to come in. It's difficult to really gauge it, so you kind of just have to go with the flow. We're spending a lot of time focusing on what we can do better, what initiatives we can put in place with our existing operators, and really focusing also on communication and keeping up to speed with these new people and these new operators that we're talking to for the first time, that are excited about bringing in some of our brands.
It's almost as if you've had like a chance to reevaluate during the pause period as well. So I'm sure you'll benefit from in some way benefit from this moving forward. Rob, I know from talking to you on many occasions that Asia is like an important market for you as far as the duty-free and your duty-free and travel retail business is concerned. How are things progressing in China, and is there any new listings on the horizon that perhaps you might be able to tell us about?
China's been a bright spot. I think it was a bright spot for a lot of people, especially with new duty-free licenses having been issued with this very quick expansion into Hainan of many operators. It's created a lot of opportunity. We had the opportunity again from TR Marketplace to meet some new people that we hadn't talked to in the past and start conversations prior to even a lot of these announcements. And then we doubled down by participating in China Reborn and met even more people. Thanks to those efforts, we've opened up some new points of sale, specifically with one of our long-term partners, at DFS, and our Anne Klein product is represented in their new Mission Hills location. We were also very successful to open up with Wang Fujing, which was one of the new operators having been issued a duty-free license, and we'll be in one of their locations very soon. And we've had very positive conversations as well with CNSC, and we look to have really forward to what's going to come with that. So we're still finalizing our plans there. Outside of the land-based businesses, we've also been working with 360 Duty Free. We're going to have placements on 2 domestic China airlines in flight. We're also going to have listings with Hong Kong Airways and Hong Kong Express through them as well. So we're very excited about that. That's somewhat of a new business for us as well.
So lots going on. You've made some really strong breakthroughs there. So congratulations, and I'm sure as the weeks and months progress, you'll have even more exciting news to share with us.
Hopefully, still many more to still too many more to go after. So we hope to be successful with all of them.
And just turning your attention to Europe, Europe and the Middle East. How are things progressing there? And is there any further updates in the Americas as well?
Sure. Europe has probably been the most challenging, just because it seems that they've really been hit the hardest with all of the lockdowns. We've had really good conversations with partners that would be new operators for us. We've really laid a lot of groundwork to move forward post-pandemic. We started to share assortments and ideas and thoughts, and we really think it's going to be a big part of our strategy and go forward business as things open up. So that's, Europe is a challenge, but we definitely see light at the end of the tunnel, and we're excited for it. With the Americas in particular, we oddly signed a distribution agreement at the beginning of the COVID pandemic. You'd think that's a really weird time, but Duty Free Dynamics is our distribution partner for independent operators in the Caribbean and North America. And I have to say, they took a chance doing this mid-pandemic, and they really have put their best foot forward and done a great job specifically in opening new business for us in the Caribbean. And we're very excited about what's going to come from that partnership in the future. Middle East, it's kind of somewhat status quo for us. We've always had some distribution there. And again, we've continued to make contact with some new operators that we haven't done business with. Things were a little slow to open on the new business side, but we're still maintaining with our existing partners.
Excellent. So again, work in progress in all the different parts of the world, it seems. But again, I look forward to hearing about more positive developments. I mean, I know Europe is challenging, as you mentioned, because of the lockdowns, but hopefully the lockdowns will ease in certain areas. It will make those conversations, those all important conversations, that little bit easier.
Yes.
Just taking everything into account and all the different elements you're working on, how would you sum up your overall strategy for duty free and travel retail in 2021?
One of the main things that we focused on strategy-wise was really continuing to make sure our brands were out there and exposed and continued to be relevant to the industry. We've managed to keep a very aggressive B2B marketing strategy for our brands, more specifically Anne Klein, but just letting people know that while things are quiet, we're still here and we're not going anywhere. So I think that was very, very important. The second strategy has really been to focus on training and training materials, more updates as to things that we're going to need. We always focus on educating the sales staff as best we can and giving them whatever tools they have to be our ambassador at the store level. But we're also dealing with the impact of having been shut down for so long that now we have to go back and re-educate people. So it's almost like starting from scratch. So that's very, very important. And then the last part is really just communication, the communication with our operators and just working with them. The goal for all of us is to emerge from this stronger if possible, but to just emerge aggressively and to get ourselves back to normal as quickly as possible.
That's a good way to end the response there about getting back to normal. I think everybody across the travel, aviation, duty free, everybody just wants to be able to get back to normal as soon as we can in general life as well. Just wanted to talk about a couple of trends. I mean, I'm aware like affordable luxury and accessibility, they've always been like key trends in the jewellery and watches sector. And I believe they will become even more like prominent in the current climate. How does Gluck look to tap in to these trends?
So tapping into it is something I think we've already done. Gluck Corporation and the brands that we own and represent is all about affordable luxury. We try to bring something to the average consumer that typically might be too higher priced with a luxury brand. You know, in our Anne Klein brand, for example, we offer ceramic bracelets at retails that are 150 US dollars or less. In our Torgon brand, you know, we offer Swiss movements with Italian leather straps and sapphire crystals, and we've got opening price points that start at 250 US dollars. So, you know, they're very, very accessible. Styling is important and key. I mean, I think the person that wears one of our watches feels like they're wearing a much more expensive watch, and that's part of the appeal to it. And that's really what I think we do best at this company.
So, in other words, yeah. So it's something affordable like products has always been. It's always been like part of the ethos, but part of the ethos, I guess, going back many years. And it's a trend it just shows no sign of like waning or decreasing, I guess.
And I think it will get stronger. You know, luxury is definitely happening currently in some markets that I've heard. I think the fashion piece of it, at the lower price points, I think is just going to get stronger. I really do. I think people are going to be taking more vacations. I think there's pent up demand for all of that. And they're going to want to be spending money on experiences because they've been locked up for so long. But at the same time, a big part of vacation travel is buying yourself something, buying a gift for someone, you know, buying a gift for yourself, something to remember the trip by. And, you know, watches have always been a great reminder of those things. You remember where you bought that watch that you really like so much. And at the same time, hitting that affordable price, while they may be looking to spend more money on those experiences than they may have in the past, it gives them that opportunity to still be able to buy that little something extra for themselves.
Those phrases are revenge spending and pent up frustration. I think they're definitely going to be like apt as we continue the recovery from this pandemic. Just one more on trends. Do you believe the COVID-19 pandemic is accelerating the ongoing shift from like needs-based purchases to experience-based purchases, and why?
Well, again, I think that's kind of goes back to the fact that yes, the customer is, I expect to come back and be vacationing very quickly. And while there is that shift, it goes back to that affordable luxury conversation. It gives an option for them to still buy themselves a gift while they're spending a little bit more money somewhere else.
Okay. And really, just wanted to ask, how are you working with retailers to ensure like customers have a positive like impression and experience at points of sale where Egluck products are located?
So I think a little of what I am going to speak about goes back to the whole strategy conversation we had a little bit, we talked about a little bit earlier. The first line of defense is really the sales associates. Making them knowledgeable about the product makes them feel comfortable with the product, makes the customer feel comfortable with the product. They're the person that's going to convert the sale. So really their education and making them be your ambassador is key. They deal with more brands than just ours. They sell many fashion brands in their fashion watch departments quite often. And as good an ambassador as they can be for you will depend on how well you train them and give them that information. So that really is the first part of making that customer experience, you know, be 100% kind of situation. Product is also the other part. We want to make sure we're always offering things that are in demand, that fit price points, that fit current trends. And we are always doing that as well. We always are developing new product, even through this whole pause in business. you have to be relevant. We want to show our customers that we're relevant. We show product even when we know there's not a lot of demand for it sometimes, just because we want to make sure that we don't stop. We don't want to have to go backwards. We want to keep moving forward.
So yes, some really key messages there. I think that it's during this pandemic, I imagine it's been a case of somehow trying to press forward with new ideas and new projects, but remaining mindful of the fact that you have to consolidate and kind of be in survival mode, I guess. So it's great to hear that, to listen to the fact that you've tried to look forward as well, which I believe is important. I think a great way to end would be to just ask you about sustainability. This is, about sustainability, which is close to the heart of us all at TRBusiness, and indeed the duty-free and travel retail industry as a whole. Just really wanted to find out how much emphasis Gluck places on sustainability across your duty-free and travel retail business, with perhaps Anne Klein considered in mind.
Sure. So we were thinking about sustainability and eco-conscious products even prior to this kind of surge that's happened with COVID. Pre-COVID, we had launched a collection called Anne Klein Considered. When I say I launched it, we had put the product out there and shown it. A lot of it, unfortunately, was scheduled to deliver about the time COVID started. So we essentially have a head start into the business. On a global scale, with our non-travel retail distributors that handle more domestic businesses in country, we've had a really good response to it. So our Anne Klein Considered collection was built around a main component of a solar movement. Obviously, the great thing about that is there's no need to dispose of a battery. Then we layered in some additional elements, vegan straps, bio resins on bracelets, lead-free crystals, so that we can still give it a little bit of glitz. So we see this continuing to grow, and we see ourselves expanding that, and we see it being an important category.
And I think that is a great way to end. There. Thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. And as I said at the beginning, I really look forward to being able to see you in person, to see some of your products, hopefully at a trade show sometime soon.
Same here, Andy. Thank you so much for having me again. I really appreciated the conversation.
Great, and good luck with all the initiatives you are working on.
Thank you.